Okay, now we're going to get started wrapping the ribbon. I've got my glue that's dried. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually clear now instead of white. We can take out the pins that we're holding the ribbon on. Okay, so now it's got a secure bond, so we're okay. Now you're going to take your ribbon, just take a little length of it. For this particular bouquet, it doesn't take too much. Just about this much or so. Okay. And it's always good if you're going to have to cut your ribbon, cut it a little long rather than a little short, obviously, because you can always use scraps of ribbon, but it's a lot harder to start over. So we're just going to cut it. Okay, that aside. Go ahead, and the first thing that you do to get started on wrapping your bouquet with like a fancy wrap, we're doing a French knot on this particular bouquet. For that, we're going to see if we can't get our bouquet to stay in one spot here. And just put it around the back of the bouquet and pull the sides up and even them out. Okay, and then pull them up straight so that we've got even on both sides. Okay, so you got to hold it tight right here, and we're going to do our first knot. The way we do this is we take our two sides, we twist it all the way around, just like that. Just one twist, that's all it takes. And just like everything else that we do, it's a lot easier to hold it and be tight if you really hold that ribbon tight, just like our tape. So again, take your two sides and you're just going to twist it so that they're both, the ribbons are on the same side that they started out. Okay, then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to wrap it around the back. You're not going to twist it, but you're just going to wrap them so they will overlap a little bit. And again, try to keep it tight, but usually what you can do is tighten it up just like this after you've already made your wrap. So it's a little easier that way. Okay, and then we're just going to continue doing that. For this size of bouquet, we're just going to do 3 knots. Like I mentioned earlier, odd numbers are a little more visually appealing. So try to do 3 rather than 2 or 4. Or, you know, if you've got a longer bouquet, then you're going to want to do more knots. Okay, so again, we're just going to wrap, pull it tight, and wrap it around the back. Okay, so we're going to take it, and we're going to wrap it around the back. Pull it tight, then wrap it up, and wrap it around. Okay, so just like that, we've got all of our knots. You can see on here, they've got 3 pretty knots. The light's not that great, so I apologize for that. There you go, 3 pretty little knots, which we will finish with a pearl pins up each one. So then what we're going to do is we're going to turn our bouquet over, and you'll see that it's got some twists in it, some wraps around the back, but it's not too ugly or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our ribbon, and we do have lots of extra, which is better than having not any at all. And we're just going to cut a little bit. Make sure that you keep just about an inch or so of space that we're going to have to use to cover up. So make your cut. Okay, this needs to be just a little bit shorter, so cut just a little bit more. Keep everything on the back side of the bouquet because not a lot of people it's going to be looking at that side. So if you have to hide any of your work, do that on the back side. Okay, and just like before when we finished off the first wrap of ribbon, we're just going to take a little bit of fabric glue, and we're going to do just a dab. Okay, just a little bit here. Okay, and then we're going to press our ribbon over that so it soaks through. Okay, and then we can take our other ribbon, other end, and we're just going to wrap it right on top and let that glue stick in there. We've got this tail right here that we need to finish, and we want to make it look nice and pretty. So just like if you were sewing something, you'd want to hem it. We're going to hem this ribbon. So make one little fold, fold your end of your ribbon over, and we're going to put just a little dab of fabric glue on either sides. Again, not a whole lot because you don't want it to show through, even though it does dry clear. You don't want to make too much glue, and because you can see that. Okay, so we've got glue, and we're just going to press it tight and hold it there for a couple seconds. And we can take another pin, these pearl pins, or any pins that you got. Take these pins, and we're just going to hold that there for now. That's temporary. It's not obviously going to look like this. It's not going to be finished like that. So we'll just keep it there, and we can keep working while we let this dry. It's not, what we're going to do isn't going to affect it very much at all, and especially because it's pinned in. So okay, so I've got this pin in here just to hold it while I was gluing it, but that's obviously not finished. So we've got our row right here. We're going to take one of these pins, one of these pins right here, these pearl pins, and you're going to put it right at the bottom. You can also put them right in the middle, or you can put them on the top. It doesn't really matter. However, they're, you know, an inch or so long, so if you put them right here, you're going to make sure that you got to make sure that it's through the stems, otherwise your bridesmaids are going to be poked. We don't want that to happen. So we're just going to take this right here. We're going to run it right through the bottom and make sure that it goes underneath the ribbon on the rest of it. And we're just going to poke it right in there. Okay. So it's holding it on there, but it's not serving a crucial part. So just make sure that it's tight. It's not going to fall out. And if it does, you can always put just a little dab of fabric glue or hot glue on that to keep it secure. So for the next one, we're just going to do the same thing. Run it right up the bottom and make sure that it's not poking out or anything like that. Okay, so for this next one, if we run it right up the top, you're going to see that it's so long that it's going to poke out the top. So we're actually going to insert this one at the bottom, but we're going to turn it around the other direction. So start from the top this time and go ahead and insert it in there. So you really won't be able to tell that big of a difference, and you can always make them look as even as you can. This isn't great, but it'll work. So so pretty much that's how it's done. You've got your whole bouquet with your finished ends right here, with the French knots and the pearl pins. And we're going to let our glue dry here on the back, so we're going to leave these pins in here. But essentially, you've got a finished bridesmaid bouquet.